The Woobles have finally landed in Australia. I raced to Zing to buy one, but are they worth the hype? Here's my honest review before you spend your money. If you're new here, hey, I'm Emma, your crochet bestie, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to unbox the kit, test out the instructions, and let you know if I really think it's worth buying this kit from Zing. So if you haven't heard of the Woobles before, they're a US-based company, and they make crochet kits. Their whole thing is making crochet more accessible and easy for people to understand and learn. Basically, they've blown up online as the anybody can crochet kit people. They aren't your usual crochet kits either. They have pre-started pieces and lots of video tutorials, so you won't get lost. Previously, these kits have been so hard to get in Australia. You can't order them from the Woobles website, and you have to find a reseller here in Australia to get your hands on one. And now you can get them from Zing, which is a mainstream retailer. And they are currently stocking the Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and some of the basic kits as well. I'm so happy that Zing brought across some of the collabs so I can try them out. Fingers crossed they bring the Hello Kitty collab because she is my fave. I picked up this Balrog kit for 59 Australian dollars. I picked up the intermediate kit because I'm a bit more of a seasoned crocheter, but I thought, you know what? If beginners can learn to do these kits, I'm sure I won't have any problems giving the Balrog a go. Balrog is made out of black yarn as well, and I was very curious to see how the Woobles would tackle using such a difficult yarn. Let's get into the unboxing. So I want to talk a little bit about the packaging. I absolutely love how it comes in this resealable bag. I do love that it says what level the kit is for right on the front of the packaging as well. On the front, it clearly labels that it is Balrog, all the materials are included. And on the back, it says what is included. We have yarn, a step-by-step video, a pre-started piece, a 4mm crochet hook, stuffing, plastic eyes, yarn needle, online instructions. I also like how this is very approachable I like how it has very approachable wording on the back as well. It also shows you what the finished size will be. It's obviously not this small, it is a bit bigger. On the very bottom part of the bag, it also says that this is for ages 12 plus, which I would agree with. And it has a big warning which says, may result in getting hooked. So true. And there's also choking hazards of small parts, and it's not for children under 3. Inside the bag, we have our yarn. Now, first impressions of this yarn, it is quite squishy. It feels like it'll be very easy to work with. It kind of feels like a shoelace, if that makes sense. Well, especially the black ones feel like a shoelace. I have some other colors in here like gold, shiny red, and a glittery orange. I also have some yellow yarn, but I'm not sure what this is for yet. Now, initially they don't feel that bad, but I can see how they may feel a bit scratchy or they might be a bit grabby on the hook, but we'll see how they go. One of the unique things about these kits is that they all come with a pre-started piece that looks like this and has stitch markers already in it for you to start. Now, I think the crochet hook is quite a standout. I love that it is branded with the Wooble that I'm going to be making. So it has Balrog on there. He's looking quite grumpy, kind of cute. I love the theming, I really do. It is black and red, and it has these lovely gold accents. Beautiful. The hook itself is a 4mm, and it does feel quite grippy. It's hard to explain, like it doesn't quite feel like it doesn't quite feel like my normal clover hook. It feels definitely a bit grippier on the metal piece itself. So we'll see how that translates to crocheting. I've also got some stuffing, and the little label here says it's what's inside that counts. So cute. And we also have this cute little envelope with the wee wibbly bits. Just gonna open it up. I have Meet Balrog, and it's a little card, and it says on the back, make Balrog, follow the step-by-step instructions. So I have a website to go to start my Wooble, and a password to get the Balrog pattern onto my account. I've got 3 safety eyes in here. They feel good quality, pretty much like your standard safety eyes, no complaints there. I have some black yarn, not really sure what that's for either. And the yarn needle. The yarn needle is actually quite big. It's about the same size as my ring finger. I do like that the eye of the yarn needle looks to be quite adequate, and it will be quite easy to pass the yarn into and hopefully sew things up at the end. Let's make Balrog. So I was a little bit skeptical starting this piece because it was pre-started, and I definitely have a tighter tension than how the pre-done piece was, but that's okay. So now it was time to make Balrog. I booted up my computer and I turned on the tutorial. Immediately, the first thing that I noticed was the tutorials are so loud. If you're using headphones, the tutorials are so loud on the computer. My husband said that he could hear it from the other side of the house, and that's really saying something. I had to turn the sound down on my browser because it was so loud, and there was no external way to turn down the sound on the video, which I thought was kind of a bit weird. Now, if you're using a phone or a tablet, or I don't know if you can crochet on your TV, I don't think this will be a problem because you can just use the controls. They also have an option for you to download the pattern if you would prefer that, but because I'm testing out this kit, I decided to just follow the videos exactly as they were. Something that I didn't really like as someone who crochets a lot is I didn't like the pre-started piece. My tension is definitely a lot tighter than how they do the tension for the pre-started piece. If you're a beginner, I don't think this will be much of a problem for you because you can sort of work around it and find your tension. Like, it wasn't so loose that it was an issue, but for me personally, I just didn't like it that much. But if you're starting crochet for the first time, I think you could even pick up this intermediate package and start straight away. Like, it was very easy to follow, and the pre-started piece does make it easy to begin. I did film some of the beginning of this, but because I'm working with black yarn, it was actually very difficult to show the stages correctly and for you to see what was going on. So I kind of opted instead to show progress throughout. I absolutely love this crochet hook, so good. There's definitely more of a grippiness to it. I can't really explain the grippiness angle. It just does feel grippier in my experience. I do love my Clover more though because things slide nicely, but using this easy peasy yarn, this hook and this yarn together, it's magic. So yeah, I actually didn't have any problems getting Balrog finished. The video instructions were actually very clear and easy to use. I was just sitting down at my computer. Every day I would boot it up, I would have to fix the sound issue again. But other than that, it was so easy. The lady's voice did grate on me a little bit, but that's fine. So just going through my Balrog, it showed me how to make the head and body first, and that is like the main biggest piece of the project. It also told me when to put the safety eyes in, and like it was very clearly shown throughout this entire process exactly where all of the pieces should go and should fit on your Balrog. And I wasn't lost for a single second. Like, it really holds your hand through the entire process. I've been a bit sick for the last 2 weeks and had a bit of brain fog, and I found that the video tutorials really helped me get through it. And I could actually complete something, so that was really nice. Normally, when I'm feeling this way, I wouldn't actually bother crocheting. I usually just put my crochet projects down and wait until I feel better because I don't like making that many mistakes. I can confidently say I didn't make many, if any, mistakes with Balrog. One thing I did was sew one of the pieces on to the wrong spot, but it was so easy to correct, and it really wasn't because of the video tutorial that I sewed it on wrong. It was just because I had counted the rows incorrectly when I was going down through the black yarn, which is so easy to do because black yarn, it's so hard to see unless you have amazing lighting. Once I put on his little arms and his tail, he was definitely coming along really nicely. Then it was just putting on the wings, the horns, and the mane, and doing some of the body detailing. And I have to say, this was one of the easiest to follow embroidering instructions I've ever had for a crochet kit ever. It was so incredibly clear. I didn't think that I personally was that good at doing embroidered on details, but this kit had definitely given me some confidence. It also explained what this yarn is for. So you can't use safety eyes for projects that are for babies or children under 3. So it comes with some yarn. So if you would prefer, you can crochet on the eyes instead, or you can embroider them on, so then there's no risk of choking. And I love that because a lot of kits won't give you the extra yarn to embroider on details like that. I actually think that's what the black yarn inside this wibbly bits was for like embroidering on details. But because the yarn is black, that's why they gave us the yellow yarn instead for the eyes. Honestly, perfect. They thought of everything. All right, let's compare my finished Wooble to the packaging to see what we think. This is what I was making here. This is Balrog, kind of hard to see. And here is my version of Balrog. Honestly, not that far off. Not that far off at all. Do a little spin. Yeah, I'm actually super pleased with how this turned out. His wing is over here. It's a little bit down. Yeah, one of his wings does point a little bit further the other way, but like you can't really tell in real life. He looks pretty good. I absolutely love him. I love how this whole thing turned out. I'm just so pleased with it, honestly. For my first Wooble ever and for $60, I have to say the kit absolutely delivered. I have a Balrog. No one can tell me he doesn't look like Balrog. He definitely does. And he definitely looks like the kit. Amazing. I am so pleased with how my Balrog turned out. I have tested so many kits ranging from $5 to $20. This is definitely the most expensive one I've made, but the results, iconic. So good. Okay, let's talk pros and cons. A big pro is that absolutely everything that you need is inside this crochet kit, except for a pair of scissors, which is honestly so good. Even just having a special color eye for the safety eyes and just having that inside of the kit is a huge plus for me. Another big pro is that none of the materials feel cheap at all. And the video instructions definitely give off a vibe that the Woobles really care about you finishing your project. I finished my project and there is definitely plenty of yarn left over, so I don't think you'll ever be running out of the actual materials when you're making your Wooble either, which is a huge plus. And with some kits, you will definitely run out of yarn if you have a looser tension. I think this is also good for beginners because if you make a mistake and you can't pull back your yarn too far, or it's just too far gone, you can definitely just make a new piece. There's plenty of yarn to go around. Huge tick, a big pro. Let's get on to the cons. So, I definitely think that one of the cons is that the video instructions can't be downloaded even temporarily, so you can't take them away on holiday with you or somewhere where you don't have great internet connection. I would like to see perhaps a system like with Netflix or Disney Plus where you can sort of just download the video for a short amount of time and then it will go back to the provider later on. But that might be a difficult system to implement, I don't know. You can always download the PDF, but I do feel like there is a little bit less pizzazz in the PDF compared to the video. If you're a newbie, you definitely want the video to show you all of the steps. If you've been crocheting for a while like me, you could definitely get away with the PDF instructions. Another con I would say is the price. 59 Australian dollars is very steep for a crochet kit. I think I would have preferred to have seen this around the $49 mark, but for what it is very extensive and anyone can crochet with this, so take it with a grain of salt. It is also a crochet course, not just instructions. And typically a crochet course with an actual instructor in real life will run you about $100 plus for about an hour. So you do get all of the instructions for life, so you don't have to worry about if your account goes down, well, unless the Woobles themselves go down. But hopefully you can then just use the PDF by that point. So who are these kits for? I think these kits definitely shine in the beginner market and anyone who just wants to pick up crochet, even if it's for one project, just to get it done. And who are they not for? I don't think that they are for very seasoned crocheters who don't like the novelty of these things. Like, I absolutely love this crochet hook. I would have bought this if it was like $5 anyway. But yeah, if you're a more seasoned crocheter, making an amigurumi like this might be a little bit frustrating and the instructions might go a little bit too slow for you. I decided to do my project like I was a full beginner, so I went through every single instruction. But if you're a more seasoned crocheter, you may get a little bit frustrated with that and just want to do the PDF. And for $60, it probably isn't going to be what you would want to spend your yarn budget on because you can get a lot more yarn for the price of this. But that's fair enough. I actually think it was quite a fun project, and buying one isn't going to break the bank for me. So the Woobles are officially here in Australia and they really nailed the entry, even if they made my bank account cry a little bit. I would say grab one for your crochet friends, or if you're a beginner just looking for an easy project to start. Anyway, tell me in the comments below, have you made a Wooble? Would you grab a kit? Or is this a total pass for you? Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!